Happy lunch hour, guys. All right, I want to bring something up here. I don't have to tell anybody that the world is going to shit, but just something that we experienced yesterday and wanted to discuss it. Kind of break down some of the numbers so I can kind of explain maybe to the people that don't get it, or maybe you have some facts to figure out to explain to your family who's thinks you're nuts. If you're still trying. Why? Okay. Mrs. P and I went to the grocery store yesterday. That exclusive grocery store known as Walmart. Okay. And bought groceries. Didn't buy any meat. None. Okay. I mean, we've still got pork and chicken here, and we're getting a half a side of cow or half a cow here in a couple of weeks. Right. So we didn't need any meat. Milk, butter, cheese. Mrs. P got a 6-pack of soda. Uh, Macaroni, some Velveeta, you know, basic staples. Some vegetables that we don't grow, things like that. We got some grapes. Little things. $250. Now, that food will probably be enough to last us for about 2 weeks. Mind you, it's the two of us and 2 dogs. And yes, we bought a box of greenies, okay, that was $20, and 2 cans of dog food to give them a little treat, besides their kibble. That was it, all right? You hear all these stories about the inflation in groceries, it's 14% or something like that. And I'm going to give you one just because it was a real easy one to notice. At the Walmart we go to, they've got a bakery, and they have fresh baked bread, right? Mrs. P likes the Italian bread they make there. For the longest time, it was a buck a loaf. Okay, no problem. Yesterday, when we went to the store, it was $1.47. Guys, that's a 47% increase. Okay, and we talked about it. Why? Wheat. The wheat prices are going up. Why? Because the wheat harvest sucked. Okay, because of droughts and floods and, all that sort of crap. Gee, I don't know. Have preppers been talking about that for any length of time? Yeah, no, I was. I think everybody else was too. But so I went and decided to do a little bit of number crunching this morning with the official numbers, okay? I mean, obviously, which are going to be skewed to make Joe look good. And you can't do it, all right? Another question that comes up all the time is there going to be a housing crash, a stock market crash, whatever? And I've said over and over and over, absolutely there is going to, all right? And I'm going to explain why. Real simple. Y'all remember, for the last few years, we saw all these, the fight for $15 minimum wage. You can't raise a family on less than $15 minimum. Remember all this crap? Okay. That to say, would you like fries with that? You need $15 an hour. Okay. Now, let's also remember what Jerome Powell has said lately in order to, I kid you not, okay, that in order to curb inflation, to bring inflation down, we need more people unemployed. Okay, this is what the Federal Reserve is saying, is that we need people to be out of work to bring inflation down. Yeah, because that'll do good. So I went and crunched the numbers. All right, I'm going to show you this first screen here real quick. This is the cost of food for a family, okay? And it breaks it down real simple here into family size, 1, 2, 4, all right? So I decided to do this on a family of 4, figuring, okay, plenty of people have kids, mouths to feed and stuff like that, and kids are a liability, not an asset. Most kids, I'm going to qualify that for a second, because some do. Most kids don't work to create an income. Some do. Okay, a lot of you guys probably have stories when you were a kid of working somehow to bring money into the house to buy groceries or whatever. But for the most part now, kids are a liability. All right. So, as this says, The averages for a family of four based on two adults between the age of 20 and 50, and two children, one age 6 to 8, one age 9 to 11. The average bill is $887 a month. Now, if you read the top on here too, the averages below are based on an individual or family cooking all their meals and snacks at home. They don't include meals eaten out. All right, so this is just what you're eating at home. So that means no restaurants, no Starbucks, no McDonald's. Try not taking a kid to McDonald's every once in a while. Okay, it doesn't work. So then I decided to break this number down. $877 a month is $29.23 a day, is what it costs, supposedly the average for a family of four to eat. So just under $30. Okay. So then I decided to take a look at something else. And I'll show you this picture here real quick if I can pull it up. The average monthly car payment. Okay. The average monthly car payment is $644 for a new car. I don't know about you guys. I've bought one new car in my life, and after doing that, it's where I never would again. Okay. My car right now is going on 13 years old, my truck. The average used car payment is $488. Okay, almost $500 for a used car. I went and took a look to actually yesterday to see what a F-150 would cost. Okay, and I didn't look at a new one. I looked online to see what a similar truck that I have, okay, four-door F-150, smaller V8 in it, for one that was made in 2016. With less than 100,000 miles on it. The cheapest one I could find was 30 grand. Okay, so when you go used car $488, yeah, that kind of made sense. All right. So then I took a look to see what the average income was. I do this every once in a while. The average household income, median income in the United States is $61,937. That is very close to the equivalent of two people making $15 an hour. Okay, this is what they were fighting for, right? Now, let's go into this. If the median household income is $61,937, that means your food, based on these averages, not reality, okay, cost you 17% of your income. A new car, the payment would be 12% of your income. A used car would be 9.5% of your income. Chances are mom and dad probably have two cars. Okay, maybe not. All right. So then I looked to see what housing would be. The average rent in the United States is $1,900. Highest in Hawaii, lowest in West Virginia. Okay, West Virginia was in the 700s, Hawaii was up in the 3000s, but the average rent was $1,900. The average mortgage in the United States is $2,064. So, again, one of these things, yeah, you're probably better off owning than renting. For an extra $100 a month, you're actually building some equity. Just saying. Okay, this is my point. So the average rent is 37.3% of the average income. The average mortgage is 40.5% of the average income. Comparing averages to averages here, guys. Okay. Now, I want to give you this. Go to a bank and try to get a mortgage. And if your debt to income is more than 36%, the bank will tell you no. Right? Okay. Sorry, you don't make enough money to buy that house. So the average income cannot afford to buy the average house. Do you see where I'm saying where we're going to have a train wreck coming? The prices of houses are going to go down. Simple as that. All right. In order to buy the average house, this is basically so you can qualify for a 30-year mortgage as mortgage rates keep going through the roof. Okay, right now, and as rates keep climbing, so does the amount of income you need. Right now, in order to buy an average house, your household income has to be $68,800. Okay. Now what are we talking? We need more than $15 an hour. How long is it going to be till food, which is taking up 17% of your income? Think about this. Food costs nearly half the debt to income. What you spend on food is nearly half the debt to income that you can have to buy a house. Okay. And I said you can't, but you need 68.8 to buy it. That's provided you have no other debt. Okay, it means you have no credit card bills, no car payments, no nothing, no student loan payments, anything. You need to make $68,800. This is a death spiral, guys. This is where I keep saying the real estate market will crash. If you go back to 2008, 2009, remember when, if you had a pulse, you could get a mortgage, oh, we don't have to do income verification anymore. As long as you can put an X on a line, you can get a mortgage. That was literally all it was back then. Thank you, Barney Frank. But everybody wants to blame that on George Bush. If you go back and look who really pulled that, it was the Democrats. It was Barney Frank. Thanks, Massachusetts. But yeah. So the only way that we can get this crisis solved is either wages go up, which now what, you're going to pay $20 an hour for minimum, would you like fries with that? Congratulations, you're now paying $14 for a Happy Meal. Okay. Or home prices have to come down. Rent has to come down. That's the only thing, guys. This is where we keep looking at as preppers. Now, 9 months ago was the good time to buy land. Now, not so much. The problem that you're going to get into is it's harder and harder and harder to sell that property now. If you didn't sell it already, it's not like you're going to have 36 offers in the first weekend like you could 6 months ago. Now you're going to be lucky if you have 3 showings that first weekend, because the interest rates are pricing everybody out of the market. People can't afford to buy a house. It's just not possible. Yeah, we're going to see a housing market crash, a significant one. Probably another 2008, 2009. And I'll give you a story on how bad, okay? You all know Mrs. P and I bought a condo when we lived in Vegas to Airbnb. We bought that condo out of foreclosure. It was definitely a fixer-upper, okay? But it was about a half a mile. It was within walking distance from the Strip. It was the reason we bought it, because we could Airbnb it, make some income. We bought it for $75,000 in 2018, I believe it was. In 2007, that condo had sold for $300,000. We got it for 75. That's 25%. That's a 75% crash, guys. That's the kind of housing crash that Biden is engineering right now. Now, I'm not saying 75% everywhere. Okay, this was Vegas, and Vegas is very much a volatile market. Okay, but to see a 30%, a 40% housing crash is extremely possible, because we have to house people. And if the price of housing keeps going up, wages have to keep going up. And if wages keep going up, that means the cost of everything else keeps going up. And that, like I said, is a death spiral. That doesn't work. When we're paying 17% of our income on average for food, when we're paying 12%, between 9 and 12% on a car, those numbers don't work. They are not sustainable. This is why the World Economic Forum wants to go to a you'll own nothing. Oh, then you don't have a car payment. You don't own a car anymore. You don't have to worry about a mortgage payment because you'll just be renting, whatever. Sure, okay. You can't rent your food. You can't rent your electricity. You can't rent your water. Okay? You need to own that, because It's a one-use thing. I'm sorry, but you can't recycle food, or at least certainly I'm not going to try to eat recycled food. Let's put it that way, if you know what I mean. Use these numbers. Tell your kids this is what's going on. Prepare for this. Whatever you do, do not go, well, gee, I'll refinance right now or something like that. I mean, that's a fool's errand. Again, it is getting out of debt, because the papers that you've already signed, the mortgage note that you already have, you owe. Okay, you can't refinance to a lower valuation of your home. You still owe that money. Pay it off, because once you own the house, you don't care if it's worth $100,000 or $1,000,000. You own it. It's still yours. And unless you're planning on selling it, it still keeps you warm. The problem is all the people who haven't woken up yet, become awake, not become woke, are screwed. What this winds up is only the strong survive. You need to be the strong one, because there's going to be a whole lot of weak people that die in the streets.